welcome everybody. Another week, we got to get back to work and try to get one win here against another really good team. After going back and watching the video, obviously it was a disappointing loss. Really, the first half kind of dictated it. We didn't do enough things well at all to even get into the football game. So we've moved on from that game and had a really good day yesterday as far as just really being honest with ourselves and individually, starting with me and the coaches. We've got to coach better. We got to play better. We got to do a lot of things better. But I like our group, just like I always say, and the attitudes of them coming to work, and we'll get it figured out together.
It looked like on film, I don't know whether it did to you, that we physically just got beat on the offensive defensive line. There's no way you can game plan that. I mean, if you physically beat.
Yeah, it was, like I've said, I don't know another way to paint the picture that they just, pretty much dominated the football game in every area. So that's up front in the secondary. The few things that we got going, we didn't sustain or match up with anything or get anything going. So they beat us in every area, and you got to tip your cap to them. They're a good football team, but I know we have a better football team than what we showed on Saturday. That's our job to go out there and prove that. We can talk about that, but we've got to go out there and get it done.
I'm not really sure what it says, Nick, but I was just looking back at the South Dakota State game. They had almost 200 of the 353 yards in the first half on first down. Northern Iowa seemed like they averaged a bunch of yards on first down. Is that something you look at? You're not going one way, run or pass defense, or is that just something they're taking?
Yeah, no, we've all got to kind of look at, self-scout is a big thing, especially halfway through the season. Now we've got 5 games, and tendencies are a big part of how you game plan and carry over from how teams affected you the week before. You usually see some carryover, even if you haven't seen that team do it. It worked the week before, so they're going to probably try to put in some type of scheme that's similar that they have. So we've got to look at that ourselves and see what we're doing, how we're starting games, where we're putting people. So it's not we're not going back to the drawing board. We feel comfortable and confident in what we're doing. We've got to do it at a higher level. I mean, the first drive of the game, just little things, putting the ball on the ground, back-to-back plays, play 3, the first third down, really is a good play call. We don't get to the right spot, and then we put the ball on the ground. We get the first punt blocked. The 4th play out is a zone read. The ball's on the ground. It's a loss of 2. Those aren't anything as far as scheme-wise. That's going out and executing basic fundamental plays. And we did that at times, but like I said, they got the momentum and never slowed down.
What did Northern Arizona do to dominate Illinois State like they did as far as score at least?
Well, they Northern Arizona. I mean, on offense, if you really watch the Illinois State's got a really good defense, and one of the best ones that we've seen. Coach Spack does a great job with those guys, and a lot of people are back from a really good defense last year. The linebackers are different, but up front and in the secondary, they're pretty much the same. Northern Arizona had a -1 total yards in the first quarter. If you watch that game, it's like, man, Illinois State's dominating the football game. And then really halfway through the second quarter, and then Northern Arizona was able to hit some deep passes, just one-on-one, catching some 50-50 balls. The quarterback ended up throwing for a lot of yards. I think they threw for 400 yards, but I know they got them on 3, not trick plays, but deceiving plays where they had it drawn up a specific scheme, a tight end that was in blocking, and then they wheeled him out. Nobody was on him. So they had a couple good schemes, and they got him on it and got the early lead, and then Illinois State wasn't able to, run the football effectively, and just on the road in the dome at Northern Arizona's got a dome, and they were able to get the win.
Is their front 7, Illinois State's defense, their front 7, the strength of their defense?
Yeah, I mean their DBs are good. 10, I've seen him. He's started now for four seasons. So as long as I've been here, he's been playing corner for him. I've seen his dreads grow like 12 inches, I think. But he's a good player. He's physical. He's confident. I know he looks like he has fun playing football. And then like I said, they lost all three of their linebackers who were really good last year. I think one of them still might be playing in the NFL. But and then their safeties are both back. Started a lot of games. Both of them started every game last year. So front seven though up front they're good. They're big and they're strong. They're athletic. They're taller, which creates some problems. So, and then on third down, they always do a good job of bringing in some pass rushers and mixing up their blitzes. So they're just a good defense, sound defense, and we gotta have to be prepared.
The motor of that front seven though is Adam Conley, 4 sacks, fumble recovery, a lot of big plays this year. How do you neutralize him?
We just have to do a good job on all of them. We've done a good job in pass protection and knowing, number one in pass pro, you've got to understand, who you have in pass pro, and sometimes the picture changes. And that's our job as coaches throughout the week, is giving them those different looks we think we're going to get, and then individually you have to be able to block them. And they cause some problems in that. They win some one-on-one matchups, and that's how they get some pressure on the quarterback. But it starts with them stopping the run. They do a good job of getting guys in the box and stopping the run. And overall, they're just a good defense. It's the same, it sounds like the same press conference every week. It's, this league is really good and built. And you can see teams, how they recruit, because they kind of know what the formula is to win in this conference. You got to be able to stop the run. You got to, at times, no matter who you're playing, how good that receiver is, you got to have a corner that can play, press or man-to-man, because you got to commit enough people to the box, and it's no different this week.
So how do you guys try and establish the run this week?
Well, in the game, really, I thought, Daquan only had 9 carries. The game we got so far behind, we had to start throwing the football, and we weren't able to stay out there very long for long drives anyway. So it wasn't like we could. We only had 50-some plays in the entire game. So we just have to. You've got to be successful on first and second down. You got to pick up first downs. If you're always in third and medium, which you want to be in third and manageables, but you also got to have some explosive runs, keep the chains moving. And that's when carries can start to stack up, and you got more plays. You can be balanced, but when you get behind in a game, you're down by 5 scores at halftime, it's hard to stay committed to, running the football, grinding it out. You're just going to run out of time.
Are you more inclined to try shorter routes for Sam to keep more pressure on the defense and keep completing more balls at higher percentage?
Yeah, for sure. It's, completing 50%, under 50% is not it's not a winning formula. We've got to get that change. That's my job as a coach, and getting with Sam, and Sam knows that, and we have full confidence in doing that. Some of that's on us, is giving him some things to get him in a rhythm. But we've also got to be accurate, with the football too. When we have the throws, we've got to make them. We're going to continue to game plan and put together the best plan that we can. But we got to be more accurate with the football. We got to complete it at a higher percentage. Really 65% is what our goal is, and we're not close to that right now. So it's five weeks in. We still have 6 more games to go. But for us, when we look back, if we turn, if we start winning some of these games, we're going to have to start completing a higher percentage of balls.
You feel like he's choosing the right people to throw to, because you're going to have your chances downfield that you've taken.
Yeah, no, a mixture of both. There's always plays that when you come back, you should have went here, but you went here on a few. Sam's a smart kid, on really, we had, 5 third downs. They were just missed throws to the right people. We just, whether it was a tip ball or too high, or the one to DJ out of the backfield was just too high, and that's 3rd and 4. That's first down. Running a shoot route to Ralph on a stick route, just misses the throw. So we'll be fine, and some of that is what they do to you, and we've got to just continue to work. And like I said, all of us, I mean, we can go back there and look at, Sam missing throws or us not being able to run the ball on first down, and you get in predictable down and distances. So now that you're throwing against the best, defense when they know you're throwing it. So we got to get in a better rhythm on offense. We got to score points. We haven't scored a touchdown in the last 2 games in the first half, so part of being successful is getting in a rhythm and going and getting some confidence going. And I know we'll do it. We got the right people in the room, and we got the right coaches, and we'll get it straightened out.
I'm interested in your mindset at halftime. I mean, that has to be rock bottom, right?
I mean, that's our job. Like you can have a pregame speech and talk to them, and just like every single team in the country goes out there, and you're in the locker room, and here we go. This is the keys to victory. This is what we're going to do. And then when those things don't go the way that they are, you don't come down, and that's not right. I wouldn't definitely not say it's rock bottom. That's definitely not the way you draw it up, or you don't want to come to any halftime down 35-0. Right? Yeah. No. So it nothing went right, but that's our job. That's our job as the program is you got to get in there. That's not a time to get in there and start yelling at people and chewing them out. I mean, stating the obvious. Okay, coach. Yeah, we know we're down 35-0. Nothing's went right. Got to regroup and talk about some things that we want to try to get going. But really, it was about how we were going to respond and how we were going to play and the effort. And we had to go out there and make some plays. And we did that, better in the second half. But also the game type changed, too, as far as their aggressiveness and what they were trying to do.
As a former quarterback, what do you tell Sam about when you go through a tough stretch like this, or maybe you didn't go through a tough stretch like this, where you're a little bit off with your receivers, you're throwing a little bit off, and they're not running the right route, or what can you tell him psychologically or help him psychologically?
Well, the best quarterbacks, you got to have a short memory, no matter if it's in a game, if it's in a series, a bad series, when you come back, or if it's a bad game. I mean, he know, and we always talk on Mondays is you can look back and you can look at yesterday. I mean, professional quarterbacks, only 32 of them in the entire world get to play, and half of them played bad, and they're the best in the world. Then they missed a comeback, and they threw it over somebody's head, and they threw a pick, and they misread, and the coach is looking at them saying, why'd you throw it over here? And you threw it over here. Those are the best in the world. You touch the ball every time. There's going to be some times that, and only you, it's easy as a coach over on the sideline, and you see it, and hey, you should have went over here. And so it's our job as coaches throughout the week. And really the thing that with quarterbacking is it starts in practice. You got to have that connection. You have to have that timing. You have to almost strive to be perfect during the week, and so we've got to do a better job of doing that throughout the week, and that'll carry over on Saturday.
What are your thoughts on Colby, and how does he match up with Sam? Just statistically, they look like they're pretty even matchup.
They got a good quarterback. He plays well, and he's experienced. He's done it now this is his 3rd year playing, and good quarterback. They want to run the football. Similar to us, and he's got a strong arm, can make all the throws. A lot of play action, but they'll drop back, and so I mean he's a really good quarterback and is capable of taking a game over and winning a game and playing really well, and he's proven that over his career.
Do you feel like you have to set up the run with the pass? Right now, do you feel like you're throwing the ball a little bit better than the other side, and you can do it that way, or do you still have to?
We just have to, that's what we're doing right now is just you got to go and we got to see and what's our best personnels, who are our best players. Let's get the ball in their hands and not make things too complicated. Sometimes we can overcomplicate things and think we've got to have this or that, but we just got to go and do it. It's not time to blow things up and reinvent it. We got beat, and it's one game, and then the process doesn't change. What we do on Sundays and Mondays as coaches doesn't change. You look at the game film, you do the best job you can of trying to put your players in the best position that you possibly can, and then you go out there on Saturday and try to execute.
Oh, how's your cornerback situation? Are you going to bring the guy, I can't think of his name now, guy that was hurt his foot, are you going to bring him back, or is he just going to still redshirt?
No, Roman will play this week. So Roman will be back, and then Torian Lewis got hurt in the game, but was walking around, after, no crutches or anything like that. So, he had surgery on his knee 2 years ago and redshirted.
So Roman was okay with coming back. He was probably pretty eager, or was he had in his mind that, hey, I'll play next year?
Well, he's not guaranteed to play next year.
Oh, okay.
So, the 6 year of eligibility is always up in the air, and it's about 50-50 whether you get him or not. So he's really a month ahead of schedule. I don't know how he's done it, but he's out there, and even the orthopedic doctors and just like kind of shrugs his shoulders.
So he could play.
Yeah, no, he's going to play. Yeah.
He'll be able to put the pads on?
Yeah, he'll be in full pads tomorrow.
Then what about Torrey? You think Torrey will be okay to play?
We'll see. Kind of, find out. It looked. He's going to be sore. Like I said, I mean, he had pretty significant surgery 2 years ago, and that thing's always sore. He's always a guy that we limit his reps during the week, and sometimes just mentally, it's scary whenever you get hit in there, and you've already went through that before, and a little bit of that was on Saturday. Is just. It's a kind of a nagging thing. So we'll see how he responds and how he is at practice.
What do you think about Marquise and Malik Haynes?
Malik Haynes will play. Malik was at the game and, definitely could have used him in the football game, but he was one of those things that we want to be precautious, and it was really had a migraine before the game the night before. Just really wasn't feeling well, and just didn't feel comfortable putting him out there. But he was up here in all the meetings yesterday, feeling a lot better. Was able to get some fluids. Kind of the first time he's ever had one. Just didn't really know how to, what it was at first. So, we've got to listen to the kids, and we're never going to put somebody out there that doesn't feel good going out there. And then Marquise, same thing. He's got the brace off, full motion. We look for him to have a pretty good chance to play on Saturday.
Gibbs is their only receiver with multiple touchdowns. Are you going to give extra focus to him?
We just got to play our defense. I mean, they've got capable guys across the board. They recruit well. We've recruited some of their guys. That's just the way the game is. 5 weeks in, and so we'll know who their best players are, and we'll try to. But it won't be a thing where we're double coveraging, or there'll be times that we do that. But we just have to play our defense. We got to execute. We got to stop the run first.
How about Jake Marble?
He's getting better. He really is. At first we thought it would be 3 to 4 weeks, but he feels a lot better too. We didn't take him on the trip so he could be back here and rehab, and he didn't have to fly and all that kind of stuff. And he came in on Sunday out of the boot and walking around feeling pretty good. So it's kind of a thing. I would say he's doubtful for Saturday, but progressing well, that we'll get him back pretty soon.
How did Bailey do in playing tight end Saturday?
Yeah, he got several reps and did a good job. It's something we've talked about for a couple years with him. He's 200 and under 280 pounds, so he's always a guy that, especially when he was younger, whenever he was about 260, make him a big tight end or put on more weight, and so he does a good job. He's an athlete. He can catch the football too. So it's a package that without Jake, we're going to have to continue to expand.
I think the Tulsa team from some guys from
Yeah.
the team. Will you get to meet with them at all?
Yeah, definitely. You got a few things. The 67 team that beat Tulsa, which is probably the biggest win in school history. We got a picture of it in our football offices, and then obviously Coach Carl Mock, who's one of the biggest influences on my life, played in that game and was a senior, and that was memorable game, and they've got a lot of people coming back. I mean, there's like, I think 35 to 40 or more guys coming back off that team. The head coach is coming back, and so that'll be a special time, you know, for our guys to meet them and watch them all reminisce and come back. A lot of guys, when Coach Mock always comes back for training camp and stays at my house, and you know, he's got them on speakerphone and talking to them. I know they're excited for it, and we're excited that they're coming back.